Welcome to the Introduction to Grading course. My name is Scotty Gex. For those of you that weren't able to make our orientation, I'll be your instructor for this course and the course on construction site soil erosion and sediment control. So I just kind of want to, first welcome to our school. And I want to talk a little bit about this grading course and some of the things we'll be covering in it. The most important, I guess, practice, and I've said this before, the most important thing we can do during the navigation of this course is to communicate. I want you to know that I'm available. I have set office hours. However, if you get stuck, just text, call, email, or use the inbox. That thing's pretty handy in your Canvas. Some of you, well, let me just go over what we're going to do first. We're going to start with because some of you may have backgrounds in grades. Some of you are coming out of certificate programs from California, Georgia, or Oklahoma. So that means some of you probably have been exposed to grade setting to some degree or another. So we're going to start with a review of basic grade setting principles and application. Basic grade setting principles and application, because there are principles in grades. Some of the things we're going to learn how to do, well, to start out, we want to learn how to calculate and determine grade, such as slopes, gradient, and by gradient, that means like percent grade for, say, a sewage line or gravity flow sewer line. We're going to learn how to calculate, determine the grade for slopes and gradients. We'll also cover plan reading. Now, we're not going to dive deep into that, but we're going to learn some topographic types of things, such as contour lines, elevations, and plan, site, profile, existing and proposed contours, like on a grade plan. I don't know if you've seen one of those, used one of those, perhaps. When you leave the course, you're going to know how to interpret grade stakes, from simple cut and fill stakes to single and double line reference points. Now, that's going to be a jump a little bit, but that's why this is an associate degree program. Some of the things you learned, you're going to take quite a step here pretty quick. Differential leveling, I know it was for you guys in the certificate programs. I think you may have touched on that, but we will also cover that. Differential leveling is really the basis of all grade setting. It's like what they did when they built roads and railroads from the east to the west. They used differential leveling on foot all the way. So we're going to learn how to do that. We're going to cover processes for constructing different grading operations. Like, maybe you've had a little bit of slope staking training in the certificate program or in your experience. But how do you make one? It's one thing to put things like that on paper and draw a slope, but how in the world do you build a slope? Whether it be a fill slope or a cut slope. That's another thing we're going to learn. Profiles. Profile is like a cross section. I look at cross sections and profiles as a Subway sandwich. You slice that thing right down the middle, open it up. What you're looking at is a profile of that bread. Cross section. Take a unsliced loaf of bread, cut you off a slice for a piece of toast, and what you're looking at when you look at the end of that loaf of bread is a slice of bread. So those things show you what's inside under the ground, uh, and the elevations of the road in a profile, so you can determine where the cuts are, where the fills are, which direction do you want to start pushing dirt, those kinds of things. We're going to talk about that. Uh, Catch basins. Maybe we'll get down the road, hopefully far enough where we'll do some planning excavations, catch basins where, if you've ever driven down the road, there's a gradient deal in the curb where the water goes mysteriously and disappears. Well, down under there is a box with pipes running out of that box going to different places. So we will learn how to dig holes where those things would fit before they come in and pay. Subgrade, we want to know how to calculate where our grade. We deal with subgrade. The asphalt people deal with finish grade. The curb laying or setting people, they deal with finish grade. The slabs in a building, that's finish grade, the concrete slab. But we have to construct or shape the dirt so that and compact it so that when they're ready to pour the concrete, asphalt, things like that, uh, it's going to come out to where it's supposed to be. So we're going to learn a little bit about that. I guess there's so many things that I want to try to cover, but the one thing we don't want to do is learn a little bit about a lot of things. What we will do is learn a whole lot about not everything, So we will focus on what we can master, because this whole thing of coming to an associate program is when you leave here, you're going to want to be able to start applying these things. Now, it's going to take a little bit of help from the people on the site that's been doing this for a long time. Your learning and training will probably never stop as long as you're in construction. So let me just kind of close with this little paragraph or two, and I'm going to just read it. I wrote it a while ago. Many of you may be certificate program graduates or have experience in grade setting. Some of you may have little to no experience in grades. For those of you who are experienced, the first week may look a little familiar, and you might think, "Oh, am I going to learn anything here?" Well, just hold on. That's going to change. I can assure you that will change quickly. Now, there's going to be some of you with little to no experience. It's going to be intimidating. From the very first, if you don't even have a background in grade. But I want you to trust me. I've been teaching grades for a long time. I have curriculums to draw from that are very, very illustrative. And speaking of that, I will be offering a lot of what we call synchronous classes, where that will be face to face using the big blue button. It's like a Zoom. Be sure there's a video in I think each of your modules or your courses that has instructions for you, but it's similar to Zoom. Now, having said that, that leads to another thing. You guys are probably working full time. Some of you are in different time zones. My time zone is Central Standard Time. I know that some of you will be Eastern, some, I think even one of you are out there in California, but I'm not sure about that. But the first thing we got to do is figure out when the best time to have these synchronous classes is going to be. They will all be recorded, and so if you miss one, you will have a chance to view it. However, it'll just be a video. You can hear the interaction. The more, the merrier in these synchronous classes. So we're going to try to squeeze in as many as we can. I know you have a life out there, and you have a family out there, and you have a job out there. The first module, the first week, there's a what we call tailgate, which is a discussion. And in that, I want you to, you'll see the directions in there, but I need to know what your working hours are, or your hours that you will set aside maybe for a week or something, some way so that I can plan to schedule these synchronous conferences or classes where the majority, not opposed to having two in a week, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not opposed to having a late one, I'm not opposed to having an early one, but we need to get something that has a little predictability into it. There's another video you're going to get the chance to see me again before the classes start that I'm required to put on for the construction site erosion and sediment control. I've talked mostly about the grades course, but I'm also teaching the construction site erosion and sediment control. So get ready to see me again. I won't go over a lot of things that are just mostly housekeeping, but I will go over some of the topics in that next video. So please take a look at it. When you look at your module by tomorrow, there will be a button at the top of the module, start here. That's where the video is that we're doing right now, and the video that I'll be doing later for the erosion control course. I want you all to have a good day, and I'm really glad you chose our school. Uh, and with that, I'm going to say bye for now.